Ladies and gents, welcome back. This is Monster69 with another, what I call Ashes of Reaction video, as we're kind of waiting for, Alpha 2 to come out, hopefully, maybe sometime this year. I have no idea. I'll be doing some reaction videos on the content that Intrepid Studios released. So this one is their latest video, Ashes of Creation Alpha 2 tank preview, which is pretty cool. Hopefully get to see a little bit on the tank. I don't like the name tank, but whatever. I've seen the Ranger and I've seen bits and pieces of the Cleric. So super excited to see what we've got in store for the all-famous tank. So let's get stuck right into it, shall we? Let's go. I will be pausing the video, so if you do want to see the video without me interrupting and giving you my worthless opinion on it, please feel free to click on the link below. I've got the original video in the description below. Let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Ashes of Creation update. Today, we are going to be sharing with you a preview of the Alpha 2 tank archetype. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind as you're watching this preview that everything is still subject to change, especially considering that the Alpha 2 is going to give us a lot of feedback, both from the players as well as data-driven, that we're going to utilize in order to improve the design.
I do hope the name The Tank does get changed to something, how do I put it? A little bit more flavoursome, imaginative. I definitely don't want classes to be called the DPS, the tank, the healer. But thankfully, they're not called the DPS, they're not called the healer. It's only the tank that's called the tank.
Features, but your feedback from this video is very important, and I am joined today by three of our absolute glorious developers. One of our engineers with whom you've spoken with in the past, Keenan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Welcome back again. We are here at it again. For those of you who watched, by the way, on the live stream, you saw a previous iteration of this recording. We're doing a little bit of re-recording because there were some audio issues. And also, I just wanted to give a little bit more...
Can I just add, I love this mini-map. I don't know, everything's subject to change, but I really, really like this mini-map. It's got a little compass at the top. It's very subtle, but yeah, it's very detailed. It kind of fades into the game. It's not intrusive, and it's informative, and yeah, I really love this mini map.
In-depth detail around the specific abilities, the area that we're fighting in, and the encounter design. But also, we have with us two of our glorious senior designers, Brian and Trad. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Yep, let's do it again. We got a lot of practice on this by now.
Yes, let's do it again. And this
Warmed up.
time, you know what we're going to do? We are going to perform flawlessly. There's not going to be any edits here. We're not going to use some GM powers. We better do this good.
I'm not taking the heat for this.
I know. Okay, so before we get started, first, let's talk about the area that we're in. This is the Riverlands. As many of you know, the Riverlands is one of the predominant areas in Alpha 2 that players will be exploring. This was home to the once ancient Aelan Empire, a human race nation that was formed at the apex of Vera before the fall. And we are here to collect some gear. I believe that I am looking for the remaining pieces of the Titan Bark set. Is that right, Brian?
Yes.
Awesome.
And also there's a weapon and the shield available for you.
Ooh, okay, so the weapon and the shield are going to show us a little bit of the iteration that you've been working on since our last live stream with the cleric update, specifically around the attack animations and root motion for the mace and shield. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it not just me, but also the glorious animators and
Yes.
FX artists, Meadow and Myers on the animation side have been a pleasure to work with on this iteration over the past month. Yeah, we all knew that the base was in a kind of rough first state in the Cleric live stream, but took another look at it and we focused more on pose holds and quick transitions and an
Nice.
overall satisfying cadence. And I think the end result is pretty good, and it matches with the greatsword. It's in kind of the same universe, and I think we're starting to find our rhythm with weapon creation, and it should be
Yes.
pretty straightforward from here.
Absolutely, and a lot of that feedback from the community was with regards to the animation hit reactions from the enemy NPCs, as well as the hit effects on weapon impact to make it feel a bit more substantive and connective, which I think the VFX team and the animation team has done great jobs on both of those fronts. And then let me talk a little bit about the setting. So in the Riverlands here, what our objectives are, you'll see a little bit of update here on the UI. So we're taking a look at our new quest journal.
It's looking good. I'm really liking the design language that they're using for the UI. To be honest, everything's looking really nice. That mini-map, can I just say, it doesn't draw it's not intrusive. Your eyes don't naturally get distracted by it. And most mini-maps, I find, it kind of draws your eyes to it. But this is kind of nicely, snugly, kind of, in the corner of the screen, and when you do look up at it, it's very informative, it's very clear, and but yeah, it doesn't draw your attention to it, which I think is freaking marvelous. Also, obviously, the abilities below, you've got like 7 slots. I'm not sure if that's finalized, if that's what they're going with. You've got a weapon ability, it seems, and then you got 7 slots for your skill bar. And then right underneath that, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it's just as subtle. There's a little bar that says 15 on either end. I'm not sure if that's the experience bar or not.
The area that we're going to be heading towards is called the Oakenbane Keep. And the Oakenbane Keep is once military academy before the fall of the Aelan Empire during the Exodus. And it was used to kind of train up recruits, but now those recruits and perhaps some of their teachers might be haunting that location, and we need to take care of them and dispatch them with haste. You'll see some of the updates on the itemization and the inventory here with some of the tooltips and icons. And also
Very
you'll
nice.
see a little bit of the updates
I'm
to the
liking
world
it.
map, which is still a work in progress. Everything you're going to see here, as I said, is a work in progress.
Nice use of colors.
That is deserving of your attention and feedback so that we can make
Look like a painting.
recommendations and, of course, make it better. So with
I
that
love
being
world
said,
maps
let's do a quick kind of run through of
that look
the
like
abilities.
paintings
I
and
don't wanna
drawings.
get necessarily engaged with any enemies, so I'm just going to kind of use the abilities without an enemy kind of in my targeting.
It's a big
Let's
sword.
talk about this first one. We have a shield assault. Now, does this require a shield in order to use?
I would hope so, hence the name.
Yes, absolutely. Now, of course, I have the ability because of the GM cheats a little bit to use that ability without the shield, but I'm not going to for the purposes of this demonstration. But tell me a little bit about the shield assault. What is its intent as an ability?
Well, let's read it for ourselves. 7-meter range, 10-second cooldown. Again, everything subject to change. Bashes the target with your shield, dealing damage and applying the shaken condition. If the target is already suffering from the shaken condition, stun the target instead. Okay, you've got shaken and you've got stun conditions.
Guys?
Yeah. So it's got a few things going on with it. I would say the primary intent of it is that it is how you engage an encounter. It's got a bit of mobility. It's not like a super far charge like that carries you across the screen or anything, but yeah, there you go. But it's basically a way to engage with the enemy, get some damage out, and also grab some threat. it applies a pretty good chunk of threat in a small area in front of you, so it's really good at grabbing snap threat on like some high priority target.
And it looks like that this has a variable distance that's traveled. So essentially, like if I have a target that's directly in front of me right now, it's not predicated on having an actual target, but it is a templated attack. And if that target is immediately in front of me, then the distance traveled will be shorter. Is that correct?
Exactly, and you'll see some of that when we're actually in action. Right now, you're seeing the full distance. It's, again, a pretty short range mobility skill, but yeah, you can also just use it point blank on something, and it's not going to make you overshoot the target, and then you have to like reposition, because that can be kind of annoying with some of those skill types.
Awesome. And you said that this generates threat, but I see we have a second ability as well called Inciting Strike.
Inciting Strikes, 8-second cooldown. So slightly less than the shield attack. Slashes twice in a forward cone while adding additional threat. Okay. It incites. You incite.
Strikes. And if I
Yep.
use that ability, that's a forward cone AoE attack that generates additional threat and damage on targets impacted. Is that correct?
Exactly. That one's a bit more effective at AoE threat, so it's got a bit of a wider hitbox, good for grabbing multiple targets and cleaving them all. So that'll be what you'll be using if like there's a pack of stuff on us and you want to just get them all off of us. But not quite as much threat as the shield assault for one target. So each of them kind of has their utility there for aggro.
Awesome. Now, obviously, as part of our kit design, we want to encourage synergies, especially within inner kit synergy, but also with the party. And I see that we have two abilities, specifically Shield Assault as well as Tremoring Bellow.
Tremoring Bellow, 15 seconds cooldown. Releases a thundering shout in a forward cone. Applying the staggered condition on enemy targets. Also stomps the ground, dealing damage around the caster and tripping enemies affected by the snared condition. What? So we got a staggered condition, we had a stunned condition, and we had a shaken condition so far I've read. Also stomps the ground, dealing damage around the caster and tripping enemies. Okay, it's like an AoE. Shout.
And Tremoring
Fusroda.
Bellow applies a status condition that can be promoted if there is an existing status condition on the target. So it looks like I can create the shaken condition, and then I can trip shaken targets with the Tremoring Bellow. Is that correct?
It's actually a snare. So if you use that on a snared target, so there's two components to that.
Oh, wait a second. Did that refer to the shaken condition? Sorry, I didn't read that properly. And tripping enemies affected by the snared condition. Sorry, yeah, not shaken.
With
Mr.
the Tremoring
Sharif.
Bellow, is that correct?
It's actually a snare. So
it.
if you use that on a snared target, so there's two components to that ability. It's got a shout component, which is a forward cone, and then it's all as you can kind of see there, that shout
Wow.
move that flew out, and it kind of extends past the second element of that, which is a PBOE around Steven. If you use that ability again, you'll see kind of like the ground kick up, and that's like the earthquake element of it, and that does damage, and that does what Stephen was alluding to, where if your target is snared, then it will knock enemies down, which is our trip effect. And
Awesome.
one thing I forgot to mention on the shield assault abilities, it does apply a snare, so you've got a little bit of insert hit synergy going on there. It's a pretty satisfying combo to like charge in and then knock them down with a stop.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then also after that, we have another ability. Brian, talk to me a little bit about Grit and its purpose.
Yeah, Grit is some of your bread and butter mitigation skills.
Grit, a 1 second cooldown. Sounds like a spammable, maybe not. 4 meters range. Applies a buff to the caster, reducing incoming damage by 15%, but also reducing movement speed by 30% and outgoing damage by 20%. Each incoming hit consumes a stack of courage to reduce incoming damage by an additional 15%. Courage cannot be generated while Grit is active. Right. So you consume stacks of courage Don't know what courage is, but fair enough. This makes you tanky as hell and slow.
as a tank. So if you're really getting some heat, you'll want to pop that. And if you haven't had it on for a bit, you're going to be generating stacks of courage, and the more stacks of courage you have, that'll give you increased damage mitigation for a certain number of hits.
And I noticed that I'm slowed when I used grit, so really it's a very situational ability usage, depending on what type of situation you find yourself in. Also, this can be activated mid-swing in another ability, right?
Yep. The way I always refer to this ability is you can think of it kind of like an off GCD ability, where you can use it even though you have another ability activating, so that it's really responsive and can be popped in like an emergency. You don't have to wait for that animation to complete or for that global cooldown to finish. Where you animation to complete or for that global cooldown to finish, be popped in like an emergency. You don't have to wait for that animation to complete or for that global cooldown to finish. You just pop it in instantly.
All right, Aegis. Now I learned what this word was in another game that I follow. I never knew what Aegis was, but let me kick some knowledge because I did research the word Aegis. Aegis, I'm not even going to read the description, but Aegis is a word that's used in an ancient Greek, very famous ancient Greek book of poetry called the Ilias or something. I probably mispronounced that. And Aegis is in that book, it's a piece of leather, sort of armor, like animal armor, like very basic armor, or a shield that Zeus or some other famous Greek god wore. So it's a shield or a piece of armor. It can be either or. And so therefore Aegis alludes to protection, safety, degree of power as well. So in the modern world, to get Aegis from someone is to be protected by someone or something. So let's read this. Instantly dispels all negative effects on the caster, then creates a protecting dome behind the tank. A protective dome behind the tank for 15 seconds, transferring 50% of all damage received by targets within the area to the tank instead. All targets within the cone also receive increased status effect resistance for the duration. Wow, there you go. It's protection.
Applies on and off, and it's a toggled ability, so you can kind of turn it on and off at your disclosure.
Nice, very cool. And I see this Aegis is causing essentially a area of effect that our party members can live within, and if they do, I'm absorbing a portion of their damage taken pre-mitigation. Is that correct as well, Keenan?
Yeah, that's right. It forks some percentage of the incoming hit and applies it to your mitigation, not the party members.
Nice, very cool, very cool. All right, well, this kind of gives you guys a comprehensive overview. I'm sorry. In addition to that, we have a grapple, but that will require a target. And the
grapple, 20-second cooldown. That's probably one of the longest ones. 18 meters range. Take aim for a moment before hurling a hooked chain in a line, damaging the first target it contacts and immediately pulling them through to the caster. The target suffers a tapering snare for 3 seconds.
All right.
Got them both. We're good.
Good. Here we have this other one. I'm going to activate some shield for us.
Oof.
Oh, I'm coming down.
No, Amanda.
Oh, whoa. No.
Flawless.
I'm back up. It's okay. It's okay. As long as the party... Oh, and the party died. Okay. Let me see here. We're okay.
Tank
Let's
is
get
down.
Oh, where did you guys go?
We're kiting. I think they're
Oh.
leashing now.
Okay, let's let them leash. I see, Forgy and Ferguson is here. Maybe we can get him up. Let's just avoid the guys to the right real quick.
Yeah, I think he patrolled over as you were moving up there.
All right, I'm gonna come.
Oh, there's
back.
one up there, too.
Let's pull him back here. Let's pull him back. All right, go for it. All right, I got the boss. Just the boss. All right. Okay, we got just the boss, so we should be good.
He's on me.
Knocking him down. Oh, we need to keen him some heals.
He's out of range.
I like the. I feel like this is pretty strong damage mitigation from the grip.
Yeah, especially if you built up a bit of courage beforehand. Doing okay on mana.
Get him down, almost. This guy should have a mace for me, right?
There you go.
Ooh, he's got the hammer of corn. Okay.
Corn.
Looks like it has some physical penetration. Of course, these stats you'll see here are not the final stat. I don't want to quite reveal that just yet. But let me see if I can... Ooh, okay. So, in the group loot, obviously there's a lot of functionality here that parties have the ability to customize. There can be loot master, there can be round robin, there can be need, greed, pass. That's applied on a per rarity basis, depending on the party's choices. Some materials, and now I should have the ability to use... So the Lorca Vindicta shield, that's not the shield I'm looking for. I'm trying to get a tower shield. But in the meantime, I can use this shield, which works, I think. But it's not going to be as good as the tower shield. But it'll help. So now let me see what happens when I use my shield rush with this. Nice. Ooh, that felt good. Very cool. Stay on me, little Echo. Little baby Echo. Hey, look at that. Not too bad here. So talk to me a little bit about kind of some of the differences that we had between the tank archetype in Alpha 1 and the tank archetype that we will be having in Alpha 2.
Yeah, I could speak to that a bit. So for those of you that were part of Alpha 1, or have seen some of that footage, you might have noticed that the tank felt very much more like an offensive melee type. Something you'd almost expect more from a fighter. And part of that is because we didn't really have any other archetypes at that time to fill that role. So you're going to notice a lot more defense and control and threat mechanics on this version of the tank that you didn't necessarily see as much of prior. So as we've kind of already gone over a lot of the ability mechanics, you probably...
I think with the Scorpion attack, there's no... you can't actually see a chain or anything, but it's probably, again... it's all subject to change. Alpha, it's not even Alpha 2 yet.
I already noticed that you've got a lot more reliable mechanics that you can use pretty frequently to defend your party and also defend yourself.
And what is the type of tank role we're looking to achieve with this?
I'm really liking the trail of the weapons as these characters are making their swings. That looks pretty cool. Almost a little bit like Marvel-ish, Marvel superhero-y type stuff.
Class
I love it.
This class kit that we have.
I would say Ashes of Creation tank will be a pretty classic one, one that tank players are familiar with, and I think that's what people want. We don't need to necessarily redefine what the tank is, but I think we can improve it. There's some things that obviously you'll have your expected mechanics like threat management and generation, mitigation, control, battlefield control, CC effects. But then, we'd also like to see more direct ways of protecting your party members too, exploring just like Aegis. That's just to be, scratching the surface of that kind of thing. But being able to actually actively take damage for your allies that isn't just manipulating the AI. Because another thing about tanks that I think a lot of people deal with other games is they're pretty bad in PvP. Like when threat is removed from the equation, what am I doing as a tank when players just ignore me? And so we want to offer more direct mechanics that force even players or encourage players to attack the tank to make it so that the tank can't protect their allies against you.
Yeah, I think traditionally I like playing a combination of tank healer. I mean, I've also played, of course, mages and whatnot, DPSs. But I like the role of kind of the control aspect, the mitigation, the kind of protective nature, the ability to kind of route enemies in a fashion that is most conducive to the engagement of the encounter. That's what I really like here. So, as
look, I don't know what's going to unfold with the development of Ashes of Creation. And one thing that attracts me to Ashes is the node system is truly, for me, like a next generation MMO. But I'm hoping there can be some other next generation aspects to it as well. Namely, what really perturbs me in MMOs is like just seeing these mobs scattered around the place, kind of stationary, standing around. Kind of like nothing more than wheat to be harvested. So I'd love to see an MMO where it's like really, really dynamic in the sense that enemies, animals, NPCs in general are like moving about the map, going about doing something. Even the undead, give the undead something to do. What's their purpose? Just if it's to guard a location, make them, I don't know, move around. Animals, let animals migrate from one part of the map to the other, or even chase each other down, hunt each other down, and enemy patrols or farmers and stuff. Have them move about. Minotaurs, those minotaurs, instead of just having them in a grid-like formation, have them in a village and then have patrols of minotaurs walking around, or just that's kind of what I'd be looking for, in my opinion, of a next generation MMO. And look, I'm not going to put the onus on Intrepid to come up with everything new. This is just my 2 cents.
you can see, we're making good progress here. A lot better than the first round. Let's see. Once we get up here, I want to showcase a little bit of the wind actors on this grass that you guys kind of see around us.
Look at that fighter go.
See, these guys are pieces of cake. We're doing better. We're doing better.
In small numbers.
In small numbers.
Yeah,
that's true.
we're gonna have some challenge ahead of us because this is a very dense area of these enemies, and if we're not careful with the positioning, we could end up with a big fight on our hands.
Alright, come over here, buddy boy. Yeah, what you got? Come on over. See, sometimes when I like to play from a showcase perspective, I do so in the realm of like a new player, persona-wise.
Of course.
Of course, but of course. I see I'm ticking for 50. I don't know what that ticking for 50 is.
Sit for mana if y'all need it.
Yeah, let's
It was,
see here.
I think, communal restoration or something applies a hot.
Oh, yeah. Let me sit down.
No, that's cleansing.
Oh, you're right, cleansing wave.
Take a seat, get some restorative mana. So you guys are going to see here ahead of us, this is a pretty grassy area. It's a beautiful area.
Do you restore mana quicker if you sit down? That'd be pretty cool.
Liking it. But I want to showcase a little bit of how abilities interact with the grass and with the foliage. So you'll remember that we have that kind of forward shout, and watch what happens when I use it here. Boom!
Oh,
It's
nice.
like a heart shape. It's like a heart shape little AoE of
Looks like angel wings.
and malice.
I think that's a really cool touch of just like visual tech that a lot of
Oh.
games haven't really explored.
Absolutely.
Makes you feel like grounded in the world.
Yeah, I agree. It's very immersive. I would like to kind of move in this direction.
Very
Kristen,
nice.
If you want to stay close
Bit of
to me.
detail.
Alright, let's see what we can accomplish here. Moving over this way, and I'm gonna grab this guy over here. Sit down. Alright, good. Let me know if you see any targets moving towards us. Let me know. And we'll maybe approach this. Let's go this way.
I'm thinking though, with a lot of players, these effects, special effects of the moves can they're getting a bit bright. They look nice on their own, but I'm thinking mixed with a lot of players, it could be a bit of a flash show.
Stay close.
They could even turn it down a bit, I think.
Real quick.
I wouldn't mind.
There we go.
I think he resisted you.
He did, but he is on.
Got an ad.
Okay, it's okay. Just stay near me if you can. Keep heals on me. I got shield up. Let's focus down that one target. Target's dead. We'll switch over.
On me.
That fighter getting dizzy. That fighter getting dizzy. He's got a spin attack.
And knocking him down. Alright, good, good, good. Now this is a pretty dense area. That's a problem. Let me see. Let me try to pull this guy one at a time.
Hold on. Let me get people
Get
topped off
close
here.
if you can to me. Alright, here we go. Okay, knock him. Nice. Focus him down. Activate the grip. Nicely done, nicely done. Let's grab this guy right here. Get some aggro back from him. Nice. I love the effects on these guys. The animation did a great job as well. Alright, let's move up over to this rock area. I need to sit real quick, if we can sit before the respawn occurs. Just grab some.
Yeah, I think sitting does
Line of sight.
increase the
It's a beautiful zone.
mana recharge.
I know. You couldn't even
Hear the
imagine.
sound of the birds.
That is wonderful.
Ghosts and shapes.
There's a reason to
It's
sit.
kind of sad. Now, I believe in this particular
It's quite funny though.
open
Wait, guys! I need to sit
area, there used to
before
be
we take
these
that guy on.
magnificent kind of essence-ridden trees, but they were all harvested to produce kind of magical artifacty items, and now only one remains, which Lord Oakenbane himself guards. All right, I think I'm good. I'm gonna grab this guy here. I'm just gonna body pull him. Come on, buddy. There we go. Okay. You guys finish him off. I'm gonna grab the next one. Okay, we've got the boss as well. I'm gonna activate my grit. Try to focus the little dude
Whirlwind
first.
Knights. Tornado Knights.
Alright, I'm gonna try to knock the boss down. I'm gonna put up a shield just in case you need it.
Ugh,
Oh, I
cool
went
downs.
down. I went down. I'm coming back up. Coming back up. Knock him down now. Trying to drop some aggro. Trying to get him off. Nice, good job. Keep it up. Almost. Boom!
Not bad. Only one death.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. We got a tower shield now. I need that, of course, as the tank.
Nice.
You get all the loot this run.
Yay! It is the tank showcase.
It's the tank run.
All right, let me put on this glorious tower shield, and let me compare it actually. If we, oh, I can't compare it. Ooh, there we go. I'm loving it. That is a true tower shield. Now, I'm of course to having like a medium-sized tower shield as a dwarf in most tabletop RPGs that I play, so that I just have complete cover against my enemies. But this isn't bad either. I like it. It's very, very polished metal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it fits with the armor from this area.
Yeah. That's nice. We have how many more bosses are there? We have a couple. We have a leggings and a chest piece. Now we really in that live stream did not perform well against the main boss dude. But again, this is an area intended for 8 people with pots and other supplies that we don't necessarily have access to. I'm gonna knock him down into 1.
Yeah, like a lot of other classic inspired MMOs, like you can still do it with lower numbers. It's just gonna take a while. You gotta be more careful.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about kind of, our decisions around allowing kind of content to get experienced by lower level players. What type of safeguards do we put from, power leveling or twinking? Obviously, we adjust experience based on level differential between the target enemy and the group. How do we kind of do that? Obviously, we take the difference in the party max level and the party's lowest level, and those things can indicate the modifier that is applied to incoming experience based on the number of participants within that party.
When it comes to targeting, I wonder how many of us are going to actually not use tab targeting. It might just seem like I like my FPS, I like my action kind of targeting, if that's what it's called. But if tab targeting is just a lot easier, I'd probably just revert to that in any case. So I wonder if the devs themselves playing, if they're like, how many of them use action targeting, how many of them use tab targeting, are they all reverting to tab targeting because it's just it's just easier? I'm not sure. I don't know. It's just a question to the wind.
Safeguard those things. Which we're all accustomed to. Oh, God.
Yeah. And in addition to that, we also have experience bonus for grouping up. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
It's higher and higher the more people you have in your group to really encourage those full groups.
Yes. And obviously the way that we kind of design the encounter for these types of areas is that certain monsters will have certain types of strengths and weaknesses. Those, of course, will correlate to certain types of class kits. So some areas might be more beneficial for you to kind of XP in versus others. And a big role in that non-solo gameplay, of course, is going to be group composition, right?
Yeah, that's one thing I really love about our diverse class kits that we have available to us in Ashes is the diverse content that comes along with that, right? Like for an optimal group for one area might involve, 3 or 4 ranged DPS, but another area you might want to stack fighters for all their CC that they can bring. So different groups for different areas.
How far? Oh, we have to go just up this way, right?
Mm-hmm. Just up here and around the hill. He's on some ruins in the back.
Come on over here, buddy. Come on, come on.
Hey, Trad, can you change the loot rules to drop the rarity from what it's set right now, like 1 level? So that greens are rollable?
Oh, good call. Good call.
Where do I do that?
Options, party settings.
Hold up, Steven.
All right. Okay. Stand by. Tank
All right,
is
so
standing
I'm saying what? Need or greet?
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right, I have common and uncommon, need or greet.
Yep.
This party. So powerful, so strong, so diverse. Oh, voting change, huh? What do we got here? I will accept that.
Except.
Alright, let's see here.
I really love that system, by the way. The voting to accept loot change rules.
Oh, you don't like the ninja party loot change?
You have to trust your group leader.
I know. You mean reputation, right? Like, hey, I was in this group and a ninja changed a loot right before the boss go. That guy's on
Yeah.
our KOS list.
It creates conflict. It's a good thing.
Soft friction.
There you
It would be funny whenever they try to do that in our game and then the vote window pops up.
I know. I
It's like, oh,
love the
whoops.
lightning attack on this guy.
Oh, whoops, guys! I accidentally like went into my settings and changed some very deep stuff. Whoops.
Oh no.
Whoops, totally an accident.
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue, and it just happened before this legendary drop. I don't know how that was possible. We call those ninja looters.
I don't know. This kind of impacts on my ranger fantasy.
Really? Aren't you all about like nature and being one? With...
Oh yeah, but also loot.
Oh, but also loot. I think that's the road. Definitely rangers. I feel like rangers and rogues sometimes are the same people.
That big hammer the fighter unleashes
go.
is
Just a ranged
epic.
rogue.
Pretty much.
No, to me, sometimes the ranger is always the first that's like, huh, this engagement isn't looking so hot. Let me use the advantage I already have from a distance to kind of lead you. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna grab this guy.
Like he's about to do now.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
This isn't a dangerous situation. Look, it's survival of the furthest.
Nice.
I think are they healing columns coming down from the cleric? They're a bit much,
Nice.
for example.
I like that. Survival.
I love the rainbow effect though.
Alright. Let's go kill this guy over here first. I think he has the leggings, yeah? Let me grab this guy. Get over here.
I do like the old school feel of carefully navigating through space,
Oh,
trying
absolutely.
not to pull too many things at once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not about that lawnmower combat at all.
Yeah, Jeremy, Doug, and their teams did a really good job on the
I'm not about either of those styles,
That can be a problem. When you
to be honest.
get to an area that's just, like,
Yeah,
overwhelmingly dense. And
picking
sometimes
off
those areas you like are
one by
happy to
one
find
is
parties
boring to
that
me.
you like, and you're like, okay, cool. You're keeping the
So is the lawnmower style. That's why.
That's amazing. Oh God! Let me see if I can actively block that. Boom! What's up,
Yep.
buddy? What's up? Come on,
Nice.
let's go again.
Skills.
I'm just gonna let you take that one. I need some mana.
I want to get him to shoot me again. Boom!
I'd like to explore like a
Boom!
perfect block thing where if you time it
He's
perfectly,
blocking.
you get an additional bonus. or
Oh,
something.
that would be great. Like a kind of almost Gears of War where you have that active reload.
The engineer in me is now crying.
We'll have to be somewhat a little forgiving for it, but like I've been playing Valheim lately, and it's really fun to do their perfect block.
Oh, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that block as soon, and it's just so good with the sound effects that are associated that Cat did on that bolt. Oh, it feels so good. Okay, looks like we're grabbing 2. Let me
got
get aggro on the
You
boss
can
first.
block.
I'm gonna need some heals. Let me
We'll focus
activate
bad.
my,
I'm not sure if he has
guys
a, if
focus.
it's
I'm
because he
gonna
has a
build up-
shield, but
I'm just gonna build up hate here on the boss. You guys focus down that ad.
the big boss, the big
Try
tornado,
and keep you both up.
I should be good. I have my grit active and I have my active block.
divine
Keep
wind.
Keenan alive. He looks like he's taking some damage.
Working on it. It's almost down.
How dare you? How dare this guy?
unlimited power.
Group heal coming up.
Yeah, that group
Yeah.
heal.
The Arborist Historia.
Ooh.
That was wayable.
Knocked him.
Whoops.
Let me pull him over here a little bit. Come on over, buddy. Come on. Come to me.
Group heal coming up again.
Pulling him. Knocking him. There we go. Let's go. Let's go. Easy. Nice. What has he got? Titan bark leggings? Sweet. We're almost there. I need that, of course.
Need.
Need. Alright, we handled that guy with ease. Maybe we'll be okay with Lord Oakenbang.
I think if we just, clear carefully, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Alright, let's keep on clearing. I'm gonna pull the left side first. Stand by. Stand by. Oh,
I would pull them back over here because we'll have mobs on both sides of you.
dude. Yeah, let's go over here actually. Let's go to the right. Oh man, I don't know if I can. I think they're socially aggro if I
Yeah, that Wanderer's Nest.
I
you want me to
am
try to pull?
hoping, No, I'm just hoping I'm not gonna.
I would do it now because the other one's patrolling away.
Be brave,
Okay.
Steve.
Oh god.
Oh.
we got 3. Okay, just stand behind me. Stand behind me. Let me
Oh,
go.
maybe not run.
Don't go yet.
The big test. The big
Don't go
test.
yet.
Boom.
All right, you guys can go now. Focus one target.
Nice.
I don't think we want to stand in that because then we just get hit by cleaves.
Knocking. Oh god. Yeah, don't stand in that.
One on me,
Drag,
one on
keep
me.
yourself up. I'm okay for a little bit. Okay, Dread's almost down. Okay, good.
I'm down.
Alright. Just get yourself back up. Get up. Get up.
He's tanking.
There we go. There we go.
There's another one near you.
Yeah, don't back up any further. Come
Yeah,
back
come
this way.
forward. Come forward.
Almost.
Yeah.
Alright, we got him.
As a rep.
We did
Yeah,
it.
3 of those guys is
That's
tough.
a lot. That's a lot for a party of 4.
Add,
I don't know. I
Okay,
lived.
we got one ad.
2 in the back.
Did you hear it? Did you hear that? Of course the ranger would say that.
I'm still alive. I'm gonna focus the echo.
Now, we've talked about this in the past, but the active blocking might be an ability that of course it's universal, but it might be consuming mana, and you'll be able to adjust that mana consumption based off of your passive spec
Right.
into your skill trees. In addition, it might also consume stamina. That's something we're going to be testing as part of Alpha 2. Sorry, sometimes when I talk, I don't.
So there's stamina. I thought there was no stamina. Don't quote me because I'm always wrong. Okay, because there's a health bar and a mana bar. There's a stamina bar? Or there will be a stamina bar? Or maybe they're looking into a stamina bar. I love stamina bars.
Alright, let's move up.
Should we go up to the left?
Yeah, let's go up to this echo at the top.
Yeah, let's take this guy.
I'm gonna have to get some mana after this.
You need to sit down, Mr. Sharif. You need to sit down. We need a picnic.
Just sit right here.
Oh, nice. I like the traversal.
there's the
I love the
tree.
traversal.
The tree.
Oh, wow. That's
All
nice.
its glory. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's quite stunning, actually.
I think Scott Allen did that. Nice little area.
I wonder what kind of wood it gives.
That's a good question.
Can you chop it down?
Only one left, and you want to chop it down.
I feel like I'm having are we having an earthquake? Like my table's moving. No, I think we're good.
Time to
Okay.
get some sleep, Steven.
I know, right? Oh my god.
Time for all of us to get some sleep.
I know. Alright, I'm gonna pull this guy up here. Stand by.
It can get a bit too busy visually.
Good there. Good.
I find.
Missing him. Gonna grab this next dude. Sit down. Alright, we're making
Very
good progress.
dangerously close to a resonant on the left.
Alright, alright. Moving away, so we're good.
I mean, already with that fighter doing those spin attacks with that two-handed sword, I'm already imagining like a Conan the Barbarian type character.
Perfect. Alright, so after that guy,
I think we should clear all
I-
3 of these, to be honest.
yeah.
Watch the angle on the pull. Don't want to pull in front of Oakenbane.
He does a big AoE, so we're gonna have to spread out, and then we're gonna aggro if we do that.
Okay,
We have one
stand,
behind
stand
us, too,
right
that we
here.
could have
Stand
in
right
queue.
here on me in this position. Don't deviate from this one. Hold here. And then let me see if I can grab this echo first. And if I can. There we go. Oh god,
Yeah,
we got the
body
boss.
blow.
Okay,
He's
I'm
social.
gonna grab the
Kill the
boss. You guys
echo.
kill the echo.
Yeah.
Take the boss back to his room.
Okay, stand by.
Good idea.
Don't attack that boss. Alright, good. Oh god, it hurts. It hurts.
Jeez.
Alright, I got the boss on the ground. Keep keening up. Oh god.
Ryan,
I'm holding the
Ooh, that
boss
was a
down.
big hit.
can't keep up with that.
Okay, I'm good. Ignore me now.
Oh man.
Oh, so close. I'm gonna knock him down. Alright, good, good, good. We're good.
Dropping at chains.
Nice. Oh, thank God for this active block. Knocking him. Alright,
Tripped.
holding aggro. I'm gonna pull him inside of his mausoleum where he should be laid to rest appropriately. Come here. Follow me into your final resting place, Lord Oakenbane.
Ooh. He didn't like that.
I think that's what the fighter
Alright,
move
he's going to
is.
sleep. Shh,
What
just
this
go to
boss
sleep.
does.
Go to sleep.
That spin attack.
Do it.
Rest
It's
now.
happening. I commit you to the ground, Lord Oakenbane. Well done, ladies and
That's a
gentlemen.
good fight.
That was good.
Nice.
Grabbing my need on the Titan Bark chest plate. And then now it is time to reveal the glory of our pursuits. I am going to equip said things.
Really liking the inventory system. It's nicely designed. It's clear. It's cute.
Oh, it looks so
It's elegant.
Oh yeah.
It looks so
Sick.
glorious.
That's awesome.
Jelly.
How's our art
good.
team so good?
I
That
know.
is
Our team
awesome.
unbelievable. I mean, really.
That is awesome.
It's so good.
That looks
Well,
sick.
everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed this brief demonstration of our Alpha 2 preview for the tank archetype Of course, as we said, this is all a work in progress. There are many things that will change. Testing is very important. Your feedback is incredibly important. Please make sure that you leave all commentary possible within the YouTube video, on our forums, on our Reddit, on Twitter, everywhere possible. We always take that stuff very seriously, and we iterate upon it, as you've seen between November's live stream and this month's live stream. I hope you all enjoyed it. Keenan, Trad, Brian, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you all next time.
Wow. That was awesome. I think I'm super pumped. I think every time I see the combat, and as the game gets more and more refined, it's looking fun. It's looking like it's fun. And that's the first thing I ask myself when I'm playing a game. Is it fun? And it looks fun. You got the 7 skill slots. They went through the tank's different abilities. Very kind of, sort of special abilities we've seen before in tanks. Nothing that's super sort of different from what we've seen in the past in other MMOs, but good nonetheless. And it looked really fun. The UI is really, really nice. It's coming along really well. These guys are talented. Again, just like these little settings and stuff here in the lower right hand corner, just how subtle it all is. The inventory system that popped up, the quest system looked nice and elegant. Again, love the minimap. And one thing I personally didn't really know was about blocking attacks, and he's definitely blocking attacks, and he said it was going to be global, so everyone's going to get a block. And I think block adds another dimension to combat. I don't like games which don't have a block, because it just becomes a sort of button mashing offensive kind of tsunami that everyone partakes in. So that's awesome. And then he spoke about stamina. So I think they're testing stamina. I don't know if there'll be a stamina bar or not, or how that will look like at the end of the day. If you do know the answers to these questions, please leave a comment below. But again, Unreal Engine 5 is looking amazing. The characters, the way they're traversing and moving around on the surface of the planet looks really nicely earthed and immersive. And yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait. My only feedback would be, maybe for me anyway, to keep the sort of special effects toned down. They look great individually, but when you have 4 or 5 people, and in the PvP battles where you're going to have dozens and dozens of people, it's going to be extremely noisy with like bright lights flashing and this, that, and the other. So if they could maybe just tone that down a few notches and only maybe make the really powerful moves bright, if you like, that would be awesome. My only other feedback, and again, this is not up to, it could be up to Intrepid to try and challenge themselves to do, is how enemies traverse the world or don't traverse the world in MMOs. They're just kind of sitting there like sitting ducks, 20 meters apart, and you go around and you pick one off at a time. And to me, that's been done. That's been done. I want to see the Minotaurs that have shields use their shields like a tank. I want to see them in groups kind of working together and things like that. If an MMO can pull that off, and I know it's extremely difficult, that would be super, super immersive and super challenging, yet satisfying when you do overcome some mobs that do that. So, but anyway, we'll see what happens. Thank you all for watching. This is Monster69. And this is a Ashes of Reaction. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.